Oh, Izzy Pylong will now be introduced by Cindy Keenan and Felicia Verlinde from Helen Kalo Elementary School.
Miss Verlinde and I were both so excited about Izzy being the Cox Hero that we decided we would each share a part of her story. Izzy has faced many physical challenges throughout her life, but she does not allow that to hold her back. Many people say that teachers inspire the students. However, with Izzy, it's the other way around. Izzy inspires her teachers through her determination and her perseverance. Coach Barrow says that Izzy is a beautiful little girl whose positivity and eagerness are palpable. Her seemingly permanent smile is contagious, and regardless of the mood you're in or the day that you are having, she will remind you of all that is wonderful in the world, and she will put a smile on your face. She's beaming with radiant energy. Her belief in herself and others shows that she possesses genuine empathy that is way beyond her years. Even her smallest successes bring her great happiness. And through her actions, she constantly reminds us not to take the little joys in life for granted. Izzy maintains a positive, cheerful attitude on a daily basis. She arrives at school with a smile on her face and is always eager to share the latest news with her teacher, even if it's over and over and over. She loves to share her news. Her smile is contagious, and her classmates welcome her kind-heartedness. Her PE teacher, Coach Barrow, states that she's always ready and eager to participate in adapted PE. She's never once said, "I can't," as she's always willing to try and give anything her best shot. Even if the task is non-preferred, she shows no reluctance and will complete the task with that smile on her face. Izzy's quite creative. She spends much of her time writing and illustrating stories. She loves to share her creativity with her classmates through group projects and makerspace activities. Ms. Barrow says that Izzy has made many observable learning gains in adapted PE. Her locomotor skills are near grade level, and her manipulative and object control skills are steadily improving. She loves to have dance parties. So when they have completed their adapted PE lesson, they always go to Go Noodle or Just Dance Disney, in which Izzy dances and sings with glee.
According to her physical therapist, Miss Diane, Izzy is an inspiration, as she doesn't let her mobility difficulties affect her spirit. She has limitations in her muscle strength, balance, movement skills, which doesn't hinder her from trying activities and doing her best. One side of her body doesn't work as well as the other, and although this could be really frustrating, she works hard on doing her best to compensate and improve the skills that she does have. Izzy completes exercises to help her mobility, and although they're not always comfortable to do, she keeps going. She especially enjoys pedaling her bike with adaptations and has successfully improved endurance enough to pedal independently around the track 3 times. Every day, Izzy has to put on her brace in order to walk safely. She's accomplished the task of putting them on and taking them off, and now will tie her shoes, which brings her great joy. She's happy around her peers and is not affected by her limitations. Izzy is a true inspiration to everyone who works with her. Coach Barrow adds that due to her disability, Izzy will always have great barriers to overcome, yet you'd never know it. She does not let her disability define her, and it is clear that it will never stand in her way. She will carry this attitude of perseverance with her throughout her life, and she will be a great source of inspiration for others who might share the same disability. Izzy's AP adaptive PE class has recently added a kindergarten student, and Coach Barrow says that Izzy was instantly welcoming toward this new student. The new student was a bit nervous when they picked her up, so Izzy held her hand and told her not to worry about a thing. She was going to be just fine. So far, Izzy has demonstrated great leadership skills by helping this new student adjust to their class. Coach Barrow has had to do very little. Izzy took the reins without prompting. Izzy's shown that she is a genuine friend and wants to encourage others to be as successful as she has been. That's why Izzy is our Cox hero.
Global Learning Academy's Karen Fleming will now introduce us to our next hero, Mariah Rich.
Mariah Rich is genuinely a joy to have in my class. Her smile has the power to change the day, not only for her peers, but her teachers as well. Her consistent high standards of her appearance, her academic success, and her personal development are to be commended and continue to be an example of excellence that is refreshing for all as well as inspirational. Mariah comes to school every day with the intention to succeed. From the time she steps foot into the building, she carries herself with pride and with a smile that is truly contagious. Mariah has such a high standard for herself that it is evident in her interactions with her peers. She always has something kind to say. She is a shoulder to lean on and a supportive and kind disposition. Due to her positive attitude, she is sought after for friendship, help, tutoring, and often just a shoulder to cry on. Mariah takes her academic career very seriously. On every assignment and test, she gives her best effort because she knows the value of goals and aspirations. When she does not reach her goal, she often asks for help to relearn the materials and the skills needed to succeed in that particular lesson because she understands that learning is a consistent process that builds upon itself with every lesson, every grade, every year. While every student struggles with the process of growing up and getting used to the change that inevitably comes with life, Mariah has an exceptional case. This year, she suffered the traumatic and sudden loss of her father. Losing any family member would be difficult and cause a lot of upheaval, but to lose a parent at such a pivotal and transitional moment in their life would have caused a lot of negativity and strife for any child. Mariah has gone through this experience and come out more beautiful than anyone could have ever anticipated. For such a young student, she has shown remarkable love for those around her while acknowledging the pain within her own heart. She has grieved with grace and never lost sight of the things that she wants to accomplish. She continues to be an inspirational student who has touched the lives of students and teachers alike. I, with all of my heart, am very proud to introduce to you the blessing that I have had all year, Mariah Rich, Global Learning Academy's Cox Hero.
Caleb Harp is the hero from Ferry Pass Middle School, and Kim Warner is going to tell us why.
Good afternoon. I have the pleasure of introducing to you Caleb Hart, Ferry Pass Middle School's Cox Inspirational Hero. Despite having a learning disability and a hearing impairment, Caleb does not stop that from reaching his goals or his potential. He does not let other people tell him he cannot reach his goal. In fact, this year, he said he admitted he's been nervous in school by participating in extracurricular activities. So he decided to encourage himself and he went out for the swim team. In fact, he made the swim team. Not only did he make it, but he placed second and third in some of those events. His swim coach said whatever advice that she gave him, he took it with a positive attitude. And he not only did that, but he set goals for himself with the swim team. And he achieved those goals each week. Also, his peers describe him as being kind and compassionate. You can always find Caleb at school helping another student by opening the door, picking up trash on the campus. He's so wonderful. He has a lovely disposition about himself. And there's no doubt that we believe wherever Caleb may go or what obstacle he may face, he will soar like an eagle. We are proud to have selected Caleb Tremaine Hart as Ferry Pass Middle School's Cox Inspirational Hero.
Ferry Pass Elementary School will now come to the stage with their hero, Ruby Riesenhuber. Susan Chambers is going to give us the introduction.
Well, first, I would just like to make a statement that this is my first time being involved in this, and my heart is just bursting with pride. I tell my kids every year, and I tell my parents this, that we never know who we're going to have in our classrooms every year. And I truly believe that God puts us in a classroom with very specific children that need us as much as we need them. So all of us teachers out there that are up here today, you were chosen to be that child's teacher. Today, we from Ferry Pass Elementary are celebrating Ruby as our Cox Hero. This has been an extremely challenging year for Ruby and her family. She had been in Pensacola and went to school actually at Ferry Pass? Okay. But she'd been gone for over a year, and during that, right before school started, Ruby came to me and explained to me that her dad had tragically died at the hands of another person. For us as adults, that would have been horrific. But for an 11-year-old little girl, it was devastating. Being a daddy's girl is an amazing feeling, I know, because I was one. And to lose her dad in the way that she did made it even more heartbreaking. Then before Christmas, the only other father figure that she had in her life, her grandfather, was diagnosed with cancer the second time. So her first few months of school were extremely distracting and upsetting, but she maintained her grades. But as all of this became realities, she has struggled to not be distracted or allow this to affect her adversely, and understandably so. We found her a mentor that came almost every week, plus we got her some counseling to deal with all these adult situations. But she came to school with a sweet smile on her face. She did her best every day, and she helped any way she could. She has made some friends that have been, made some friends that have been there when she really needed someone to talk to, go shopping with, or just simply be her friend. But life began to have a silver lining. Her grandfather's cancer is now gone. The man responsible for her dad's death is now suffering the consequences of his bad choices. And now her and her family can put this horrible event behind them. Smiles are happier now, and the end of school is coming soon, and I can only wish the happiest summer for Ruby, filled with amazing memories, that I know that she will do awesome things in the future, because as they say out loud almost every day in my class, the boys have one, the girls have another one, and they say,
I am beautiful, I can do anything, I am strong, I can learn.
That's right. And Ruby, you and all of the other students have greatness in you that you don't even know that you have yet. You go forward from this day knowing that you can do and you can be anything that you want. Ruby, you will always and forever hold a very special place in my heart, and I love you.
Finally, if our last group of heroes, numbers 41 through 50, can go ahead and make their way to the left side of the room. We'll get them lined up, numbers 41 through 50, with your presenter. Austin Sexton is hero for Escambia High School, and Principal Frank Murphy is going to tell us why.
Good afternoon, and as Escambia High School celebrates 60 years, our administration, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and the communities of Southwest Escambia County, we're here to celebrate Austin. This young lady next to me is an amazing person. She's sweet, she's kind. You can tell she's been waving and hugging and blowing kisses at her two nieces, standing in line with me. Thought maybe you had a boyfriend out in the audience or something. Austin developed liver disease at an extremely young age. And with that diagnosis, of course, all the complications that come with liver disease, she was in and out of the hospital her entire life, many times spending extended periods of time in the hospital. Things got significantly worse for her in high school, and fortunately enough, in November of 2016, she received a new liver, and so Austin is an amazingly talented child, and during all of this, being out of school, like you learned from Miss Brewer with the student from Pensacola High School credits are hard to come by, and they're even harder to make up. And this young lady standing beside me has maintained an extremely high, without getting into it, GPA, and is in the top 15% of her senior class this year. And I know we've talked about heroes and the impact that they've had on the lives around them. But a year ago, I had a kidney transplant. And one of the first persons that met me when I came back to school was Austin. And Austin and I sat down and we shared stories about our medication, not our drugs. And we had medication discussions. And while most seniors want to meet about how they can make up grades and graduate on time, Mr. Superintendent, Austin and I, we meet and talk about our lab numbers, because she knows she's going to graduate on time. So congratulations, Austin, on behalf of the entire Escambia Gator family.
Connie Chamberlain of Ernest Ward Middle School will now introduce us to their hero, Janique Williams.
Hi. Well, when I found out that Janique was going to be our Cox hero, I was thrilled, but I cannot say that I was surprised. Janique came to us about a month after school started in September, and she was 13 and starting 6th grade. Our principal, Miss Perry, had a talk with her about going into regular classes or coming into the A+ program, and she opted to do that. For those of you who don't know, it might sound like an easy thing. Sit in front of a computer, do all the little assignments, get a grade, and move on. But let me tell you, for a middle school student, that's a hard task. It means no electives. Days that students were up for class change, Janique sat through the bell. And that's, we did the math one day, 3 minutes a day, 6 or 7 times a day, times a week, times a month, times 9 weeks. That's a lot of time. Most days she sat right through the bell. She did not get up, go get water, whatever. She was usually the first kid into my class and the last one to leave, whether we're going to lunch or at the end of the day. She has really been an inspiration to the other students to see how much can be accomplished. My goal for Janique, what I hoped for her when she came in, was that she would finish all of 6th and probably all of 7th grade, maybe get some 8th grade under, her belt, and come back next year as an 8th grader and then move on to high school. She was kind of quiet when she came in. She kind of was down on herself. She didn't have a lot of confidence in her ability. But as she became more successful, she really set goals for herself. Every day she was almost driving me crazy. How many do I have to get to the, to the next grade? But that stopped really quickly. She was saying, what do I have to do to get to high school? Obviously, I had aimed too low for her. And that shyness, whatever it was, her true self came bubbling up. She decided that this is what she was going to go to. She was going to finish 8th grade and move on to high school next year. Well, by the end of the first semester, I had to go in and talk to Miss Perry about what we were going to do because, we have writing tests and math tests. And, here I have a student who is finishing 6th and 7th. And what am I going to do? The instruction that you get in, on a computer is not the same sometimes as the classroom instruction for writing. So we made the decision that she would go into a regular writing English language arts class, 8th grade, to prepare for that. She was very reluctant because she had kind of made her little nest in our classroom where everything was kind of safe and she knew the routine. And so we had to do a little pushing and we added, how about PE? Maybe you'd like to go to PE because it was obvious this girl was going to finish. So she did that. And then the next thing I know, she's talking about being on the track team. So for her, it wasn't just an academic struggle, it was a struggle to kind of get herself out of a feeling of, insecurity about, what to do, that she, knowing that she was behind. And, she has done it, and she has done it with kindness. She is one of the kindest students I think I've ever met. I never hear a cross word come out of her mouth. When we do have new students, and we get a lot of them, she is one of the ones I recruit to help a student with the new procedures and, get them set up on a computer. So she has gone through a lot to get where she is, but to have finished 6th, 7th, and 8th grade this year, and she has I don't know what it was as of this afternoon, but she has over a 3.0 average. So Janique, to me, has been an example to, always aim high and to let them kind of take the wheel and, kind of drive their own, their future. And she has done it. I'm proud to have her as our Cox Hero for Ernest Ward Middle School.
Wesley Gordon from Inslee Elementary School will now come to the podium to introduce us to their hero, Alexis Walker.
Good evening. I have the distinct pleasure this evening of sharing with you Inslee Elementary's Cox Hero Award recipient, Alexis Walker. Alexis has been an inspiration to all in her class. She embodies the phrase grace under pressure in her daily life. She walks with confidence and a beaming smile despite struggles that she's had to face in her young life. Alexis handles her challenges with so much composure and maturity daily. Her relentlessly positive attitude shines through in all that she does. She finds the good in each situation and is always willing to grow. Alexis never complains, no matter how challenging the task, and she always works hard. Alexis has blossomed into a confident young leader and a role model for her classmates this year. Upon entering 5th grade, Alexis was shy and timid. She was able to take on leadership roles at our school this year as a safety patrol officer and is a key leader in her classroom, especially when that classroom is math. Due to her family's needs to move around, Alexis grew shy and timid around other students. She struggled sometimes to speak out in class, and homework became a daily challenge when she was at home. However, the desire to persevere and move past these difficulties to become a greatly improved math student and leader on safety patrol was not beyond Alexis's grasp. Alexis has helped many of her classmates throughout the year, despite being Alexis has helped many of her classmates through her quiet yet determined work ethic every day in class. Alexis is the embodiment of what overcoming struggle looks like. She has shared her successes and struggles to help her peers know that they are not alone. As a member of the Safety Patrol, Alexis serves our school with pride and dignity, and we at Inslee are blessed to have had Alexis as a hardworking member with us all year long.
Serenity Rau of Cordova Park Elementary School is next to the stage with her presenter, Martha Williams.
I'm so proud to introduce Serenity Rau, our Cox Hero for Cordova Park Elementary. Serenity is a second grader in my classroom. Communication has not always been easy for Sri. She's overcome many social barriers, and her interpersonal communication and social communication skills are improving daily. She practices self-advocacy and appropriately communicates her feelings now, where this was a major struggle in the past. Serenity is an extremely gifted speller. Her spelling and memory skills are truly amazing. She won the 5th grade spelling bee at Cordova Park this year and went on to compete in the district spelling bee. She recently competed in Chicago at the North-South Foundation Spelling Bee, ranked 6 of 37, participants being the youngest of all. Sri is very eager and aims to please her family and teachers. She enjoys celebrating her classmates' successes. She's always eager to help them when she can and constantly helps her classmates with their spelling. She's been known to spell check her teachers as well. Sri has a heroic family. The love, nurturing, and support of her parents and grandparents knows no limits. They are fiercely dedicated to helping Sri succeed to her greatest potential. Serenity is bilingual and studies several other languages as well as cultural dance and music. It has been a blessing to be Serenity's 2nd grade teacher, and I'm certain that she will go on to do many heroic things. Congratulations.
Principal Dean Wolf Sullivan of Burnville Elementary School will now introduce us to their hero, Zachary Herndon.
Zach Herndon has been selected to represent Burnville Elementary Charter School as our Cox Inspirational Hero. When he was in the 1st grade, Zach lost his father to a massive heart attack. His father was extremely involved in his life, and it was devastating to Zach and his family. Despite facing loss early on, Zach has kept a great outlook on life. He is a ball of positive energy and always willing to help others. You hardly ever see him without a smile. Smile. No. Okay. As a matter of fact, for the past few years, he has played the lead role of Santa in our annual Christmas program. This is so fitting for him because he truly is a very jolly fellow. He cares deeply for others and is known in the school as a friend to all. He is truly one of the most popular 5th graders for all the right reasons. He is the student we want all students to look up to. He has shown us that all that there is more light than dark in the world, and that obstacles may make you stumble, but they don't make you fall. He has bounded and leaped over anything and everything placed in front of him. He remains laser-focused on his goals and refuses to let life's trials and valleys bring him down. He is the epitome of hard work and the desire to reach his maximum potential. He doesn't cry over spilled milk, and he doesn't see any barrier as too big to overcome. Even on the hardest days, when wearing a smile is challenging, he still does. He is an inspiration to us all, and we are so proud for Burnville Elementary's Cox Hero, Zach Herndon.
Next, Jerome Presley, teacher from Brown Barge Middle School, will tell us why Isabella Mcmurray is a hero.
Well, the crowd's bigger than I thought. Good evening. I bring welcome to all of you from all the Panthers at BBMS. Isabella Mcmurray shows a maturity in her interactions with students and teachers. I'm always impressed with her attention to classwork and homework despite the responsibilities and workload she has at home. As a fellow student says, you might never know the struggles Isabella faces in her personal and home life. She isn't one to use her home circumstances as an excuse. Isabella always has a smile on her face. She works hard at school and at home and continually puts the work to succeed with everything she does. Isabella faces challenges both personally and in her home life. She has a hearing loss in one of her ears. She can read lips, and she has a set of signs that she uses when she needs assistance from a teacher. At home, she takes on tasks that most middle school students would never think about doing, including taking care of 4 younger siblings, helping her dad and grandmother by washing clothes, helping with meals, cleaning, and taking care of the yard work. When asked what one of her greatest middle school successes, Isabella said, "I have dreamed about going to a great high school, and I'm excited to be attending IB at PHS next year." All of that is why Isabella Mcmurray is Brown Barge's Cox Hero of the Year.
Brentwood Elementary School is happy to name Colby Beasley as their hero, and Daniel Gruden will share his story.
Well, if you see his smile, that's what I saw the first time I met him at orientation this past summer. And his mom indicated to me that he was a sweet kid. And I was like, okay, great. And she's like, he loves to spell big words. So he often comes in with a great big smile, greets me, and says good morning, and likes to tell me about new big words that he knows how to spell. And he's really, really good at it for being a first grader. He's an amazing kid overall. He never gives up whenever he's struggling. He works really hard with both myself and with his teacher, Miss Long, and we've seen excellent progress with him. His OT therapist, Miss Jackson, has indicated to me that she's not sure what to do with him next year because she thinks he's ready to dismiss, which is a huge accomplishment. His penmanship this year went from being sort of legible to now I'm like, Colby, I can't even believe this is yours. I'm like, this is phenomenal, thank you. One of the things about Colby and what sets him apart from the other students in the class is at Brentwood, we attempt to capture each child's heart every day. We greet him at the door, he greets us, but he also greets his classmates. And early in the year, he captured my heart early on. That wasn't very difficult to do. But he's someone who has inspired some of our more challenging students in the classroom and has captured their hearts. Students that struggle with getting along with others or showing kindness. For whatever reason, they never seem to fail to show kindness to Colby. They recognize that he is pure of heart, and because of that, whenever they might be having a rough go and Colby says something kind or fills his bucket, because that's one of his favorite things to do is fill others' buckets, it helps those students to kind of settle down and to rise above that. And that's why when we were deciding who to pick for our Cox Hero, I knew that Colby was our Cox Hero, and every day inspires us to do everything that we can to show kindness no matter what, and I'm just really proud of all of his hard work. So.
Brett Elementary School's Tammy Calloway and Sharon Kite will now come to the stage and tell us why Landon Hawthorne is their hero.
All right, Landon transferred to Brad Elementary in 4th grade. He's currently a 5th grader, and he has stolen the hearts of all the faculty and staff. as he enters the school each day with a smile and a great attitude. He's always kind and respectful to students and adults, and he encourages others with drive to do his best despite his physical challenges. Last fall, Landon played football and was able to run a touchdown with his team and the opposing team cheering him on. This was a great experience for Landon. He is an inspiration to his teammates and coaches, showing his ability to push himself despite his physical difficulties. Each and every day, Landon gives great effort, although some days he is in pain and suffers from exhaustion. Landon got a new wheelchair around spring break, and this new driving experience has come with a few speeding tickets and a few new dents. Sorry, Miss Hall. Landon was a member of the yearbook committee this year, and he had the job of photographer of special events. Despite his mobility challenge, he took his job seriously and did an excellent job on the yearbook staff. And Bratt Elementary is proud to have Landon Hawthorne as our Cox Hero.
Blue Angels Elementary, Cameron Weatherford is now coming to the stage with his presenter, Annie Carter.
Cameron is an amazing young man who will not let anything get him down. He was diagnosed with Ewing's sarcoma 5 years ago, which is a form of cancer. While he was undergoing treatment, Cameron was placed in hospital homebound schooling for over a year. The effects of the treatment significantly impacted his academics, in which he needed assistance in a full-time ESE class setting. Due to this illness, he has faced some difficulties with his academics, attention, concentration, and even memory. Cameron does not let this hold him back. Last year, he took the state assessment in all subject areas and earned all level 4s in all areas. Not only that, he earned a perfect score on his science assessment. Cameron is now considered cured and has overcome his struggles. He is now found in a general education class setting and proving to others that anything is possible with a willingness to work hard. He comes in every morning with a winning attitude, ready to learn and to help the class in any way. He will even take a small group of kids and help them with their math work, all on his own. A classmate stated that Cameron is a fearless and confident person. Another student stated Cameron is a happy soul who is nice to everyone who talks to him. He doesn't let anyone stand in his way. We are truly blessed to have him in our lives. I am proud to announce Cameron Rutherford as Blue Angels Cox Hero.
From one Cameron to another, now Cameron Cross will come to the station. He's from Beulah Elementary School. Vanessa Carrasco will tell us why he's a hero.
Hi. Oh, okay, I'm really nervous. Cameron came to Beulah in the beginning of 4th grade with D's and F's. He was recently moved out of his mother's custody into the custody of his uncles. And with this new loving household, he has maintained an AB honor roll, 4th grade. This year in his 5th grade class, I was his 4th grade teacher, by the way, sorry. He has been the only student that has maintained AB honor roll all year in his 5th grade class. His FSA scores came up over 260 points from 3rd grade to 4th grade. He has adapted to an I can do attitude. He no longer uses the word I can't. He has seen what his hard work has brought him. As you can tell, Cameron has a very special place in my heart, and he always will. Don't care that he's not my student anymore. He always will be. He's an inspiration to all who know him and works hard and never gives up. He shows his kindness to others in any situation, whether it's the classroom, the playground, or out in his community. I recently learned that this past Christmas, Cameron gave away his Xbox 360 and all of his games to a family that had 4 children that were living in a hotel. He didn't want those children to go without a Christmas or gifts, and he wanted to make something else better for somebody else. Despite his many challenges, he has maintained a positive outlook in everything that he has done. And this is why Cameron Cross is Beulah Elementary's Cox Inspirational Hero.
Bellevue Middle School Principal Malia Adams will now tell us why Tron Nguyen is their hero for 2018.
Good evening. Tran Nguyen has become a role model for many at Bellevue Middle School. Tran shares her experiences with her peers in classes and is constantly observed encouraging classmates to do their very best in every class, especially in the history class, where she uses her cultural diversity as a way of educating those around her. Tran's teachers and classmates say she's very quiet, but everyone goes to her for academic help. Just today, one of my student assistants said, "She's my best friend and I love her." Just yesterday, as I was doing cafeteria duty, Tran approached me with a poster she had drawn. An hour later, she emailed me through her student Gmail account. It was a beautiful teacher appreciation poster, and she requested that I email her, and I email it out, and I quote, "Send Mrs. Adams, send this to every teacher that I know, with the caption that I hope you enjoy the art and the letter." On the poster, which was pretty big size, Tran wrote under the picture she had drawn, "Dear teachers everywhere, hello. I drew this picture for Teacher Appreciation Week. I know it's not the best, but I made it with my love. The 2 characters, Zeno and Haji, are my favorite characters in a game I enjoy playing. Zeno isn't a teacher, nor Haji a student. However, both of them helped me through the school year like a teacher does with a student. Without the teachers, I wouldn't have gone through a life-changing experience. Teachers work so hard, but don't get the respect that they deserve. This drawing won't make up for all the bad behaviors of some of our students, but it's how I want to say thanks. Sincerely, Tran Nguyen." Tran, you are definitely an inspirational hero.
Dominic Gill of Bellevue Elementary School will now be introduced by Katie Trier.
Dominic is a first grade student in my classroom, and he has truly changed my life, and he has changed the life of every child in our room. He is my hero, and everyone in our room's hero also. He's an inspiration to all of us that are fortunate enough to spend time and work with him. Dominic has a great spirit about him and shares his kindness and humor with everyone around. Dominic has a rare form of muscular dystrophy and never lets the challenges he faces from his physical disabilities prevent him from giving everything his all. Since Dominic is hospital homebound, he attends our class via webcam each day. Dominic isn't physically at school with us, but it's like he's right there with us. From the moment he rings into our classroom, Dominic always has a smile on his face. He encourages others, and he works hard at everything he does. He truly lives our school's #OwnYourImpact, remembering the impact that his words and actions have on others. Dominic has never let his physical disabilities get in the way of how he can positively impact others. He has seen when classmates and friends get frustrated or want to give up, and he encourages them to keep going and to take pride in all that they do, just as he does. Dominic has made great relationships with all of his classmates and many other students, teachers, and staff all around the school. He has a positive outlook on life and shares that positivity with his classmates. He communicates with our class each day using a device that allows him to type and press buttons to ask questions, answer questions, participate in discussions, and our personal favorite, tell jokes. Dominic is very social with his classmates and will often laugh and laugh and laugh with them, share in deep discussions, and some of them even have their own virtual handshakes. Dominic has inspired me to persevere and will always see the good in life. Dominic is truly a pleasure to be around, and his smiles and laughter are contagious. I am so proud that he is a part of our classroom community and proud to call him Bellevue Elementary's Cox Inspirational Hero.
AK Suitors, Aidan Medley is our next hero. He will be presented by Sarah O'Toole.
I am the proud teacher of AK Suitors Cox Hero, Aidan Medley. Aidan came to my class in kindergarten last year, and when he came, his emotional growth, his academic retention, and his fine motor skills were well behind his peers. So everyday things that came easily to other kindergartners, like recalling the letters of the alphabet or cutting on the line, and even making the right decision on how to behave, were difficult. And a lot of times we saw frustration. Frustration to me meant that he had the urge to do it right, to succeed. And indeed, Aidan has wanted to succeed. He has found inspiration through his own heroes. He is always wanting to please the heroes in his life, which include his grandpa, who is here tonight, Mr. Queen, who he gets to visit when he's had a great week. Wait for Mr. Queen in the back. And I recently found out Kazoo, who is the mascot for the Blue Wahoos. Unfortunately, he will not be here tonight, so if you could step forward and have your picture made with Mr. Queen, we would be really happy. Well, not only has he learned to overcome frustrations, take a step back, and complete his tasks, but Aidan has learned to help his friends in class. He is a helper to everyone. Some of our students who have difficulty putting on their coats, the teacher who has difficulty remembering to change the date, and anything that needs to be done, Aidan is there to help to remind us. His academics have improved immensely. Aidan is assigning himself homework now. I said, well, we're going to work on the letter K later, and 2 days later he came back, and who can write a letter K? That's right. He makes a beautiful K. Not only that, he has learned to control his emotions. He has learned to cut some beautiful shapes and is writing his own spelling tests and sentences now. We are so happy with all the growth that you've had. One story that I do remember, we went to visit the mess hall, which is our STEM museum. And when they were opening, they said, now how, boys and girls, can we remember to behave ourselves? Well, in our class, we take a deep breath, we take a deeper breath, and we take a third breath. So Aidan raised his hand, and when she called him, he said, we can breathe. Not everybody understood that, but we knew, didn't we, Aidan? We can always stop and breathe. So he has grown emotionally, he has grown academically, and I am so proud to present to you AK Suitors Cox Hero, Aidan Medley.
Well, even moving things around, it looks like we're still going to end on a W, but that's a good thing because our hero from Warrington Middle School was able to make it. Candy Zolniski will now introduce us to Keanu Burgos from Warrington Middle School.
Hi, I'm Candy Zolniski, and this is my hero, Keanu Burgos. This young lady, I start this out, I'm kind of emotional because I'm losing her this year. She's going to Escambia High School. This young lady has overcome tremendous adversities in her personal life. Keanu's been in my advanced chorus for the last 2 years. And by the way, that was my first 2 years. When I first met her, she was in the 7th grade. Kiana was shy and very depressed. She sat alone and didn't have many friends. I quickly established a positive relationship with Kiana, and she began to open up to me. As our relationship grew, Kiana informed me that her family was having a hard time financially. This financial difficulty included the family being without electricity. Her stepfather also left during this already difficult time. This has left her family in despair since he was the total means of financial support. The family situation was so desperate at one time that the family had to resort to living in their vehicle. Now the family does not have transportation at all. Kiana's school environment provided further difficulties. Kiana was being bullied at school due to her baggy clothes and shyness. In fact, some of her peers bullied Kiana to her face. These incidents bothered her so much that she confided in me that most of her clothes were donated from churches or anonymous individuals reaching out to the family by leaving clothing on her front porch. The amazing thing about Kiana is her inner beauty and strength. Kiana has dreams of becoming a professional Broadway performer. With that being said, I asked Kiana to try out for a solo in the Christmas program that first year. She did amazing. During her solo performance of Count Your Blessings. After that performance, Kiana blossomed. She now comes into the class with a smile on her face, ready to try out for another solo. She became confident in her inner strength, and her inner strength began to show on the outside. Kiana came to school from the music. During the spring show at Warrington last year, she was so excited. In addition to performing another solo, Kiana was the MC for the entire show. She is a leader in the chorus room and now has many friends. Kiana did such a fabulous job at MC for the spring show that she is now our permanent MC for all Warrington Middle School's productions. Though Kiana and her family still experience financial difficulties, it's now just her, Kiana and her mom. Kiana remains enrolled in advanced classes and continues to maintain an above-average GPA. Kiana's depressive state and shyness are now non-existent. She always exhibits a positive attitude. I would love to introduce our Warrington Middle School Inspirational Hero for 2018, Keanu Burgos.
Well, I think you can see why this is definitely one of our favorite events each year. I think these children have taught us a lot today, and it can be wrapped up in one word, and that'd be perspective. Let's give all these kids one more round of applause for their great work.